What's up, everybody? I'm back here with another video. This is like what I call my crap metal section, which is just like 90s weird crap, like a little bit of new metal, deathcore, industrial, maybe a little goth here and there. Um, this is purely an organizational genre. This is not really a thing, but I don't listen to enough of this stuff to have separate sections for groove metal and new metal, and I like one industrial band, so I really don't need an industrial section considering I loathe the genre usually. But yeah, so we're just gonna cut into it because this is gonna be kind of a goofy video. We're listening to Forbidden's Twisted Into Form in the background here. This is a banger of a thrash album. I think all you guys probably know this one, at least I hope. No beer. I haven't even gone to work yet today, so none of that quite yet. Anyhow, alright, so this isn't even a metal band, it's just in here for organizational purposes. I just showed this. This is Elixium by Fields of the Nephilim. This is just a, like, kind of goth rock band, kind of a metal adjacent because they get kind of heavier. And just goth in general to me is kind of metal adjacent. But yeah, it's cool. It's kind of got like a spaghetti western feel. I'm sure most of you guys have heard of Fields of the Nephilim. If not, it's pretty, it's pretty decent stuff. Just not really my style all the time. I got a couple from Guar. This is Scum Dogs of the Universe. Just kind of goofy, like stuff that is devoid of proper genre tag, I guess I could say. I don't really know exactly what to call it, but it's kind of thrashy, it's kind of groovy, it's very 90s. But stuff like this is like Sick of You on here is like a classic song, and The Solemnizer, just kind of a goofy, shticky band. You guys know how Guar sounds. And then I have this Toilet Earth from Guar as well. I have a couple of their early albums. I really liked this band when I was younger. I remember listening to their stuff like when I was a kid, and they kind of like have like, I don't know, like an adult Chuck E. Cheese thing going on. So like when I was probably like 8 or 9, I listened to stuff like this quite a bit, just because like my brother would talk about it when I was like, I heard this band Guar, have you ever heard of them? I don't know. They're goofy. I've seen them live. They're fun live. Then I got a couple from Impending Doom. This is a deathcore band from, I don't remember, they're from somewhere in the United States. I didn't even bother looking it up, to be honest with you. This is their first album, Nailed Dead Risen. This is like a slamming deathcore album, pretty brutal death metal based, especially like in the old school style. Really good record. It's super heavy. Check out the Scene Kid look for them. Yeah, 2007, so that was mid Scene Kid era. But yeah, it's a really good record. If you guys like deathcore that has like a lot of brutal death metal tendencies, really gross slammy stuff, and a really nice hefty production, you'd like that record. Then I have this from them, which is There Will Be Violence. This is a later album from them, 2010, so 1 or 2 albums after that one. This one really embraces more of your straight up deathcore style, your Whitechapels and things like that. The production gets cleaned up a lot. The last one has a really good production, but this one is like squeaky clean production, that you would kind of associate deathcore with generally. It's a decent record enough, but I really like Nailed Dead and Risen a lot more. Then this, I have 2 albums from this band called Criminals. No Competition, Only Enemies, and then Self-Titled. These are 2 albums from this like new metal kind of rappy new metal band. I played with them a long time ago with a black thrash band, kind of like a black metal-ish, punky black metal band that I was doing live instruments in. My buddies, it's like a project, and we tried to play out a little bit. I booked a handful of shows for them, and it was fun, but yeah, we got stuck with stuff like this, which is kind of weird. It's really, I don't know, it's kind of bro metal. You get what I mean when I'm talking about like rappy new metal. Not really my style, but I have them mostly just for like the reminder of the fact that I played with them. I don't know, I think they're from the South somewhere. Then I got a handful from Lamb of God, Sacrament, which is probably their best Lamb of God album. These are more than likely out of order. I do not touch this stuff very often. This is just, the stuff that they usually do. Again, We Rise, Redneck, Foot to the Throat, Black and the Cursed Sun, stuff like that. It's just, you know, LOG doing LOG, man. And then what is this? Wrath. Not one that I spend as much time with. This is like In Your Words, you know, Set to Fail, Dead Seeds, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't listen to this very much. This is Ashes of the Wake, also a pretty good record. I remember my buddy was really into this band, and it kind of, by default, got me into it. I really like the song Omerta. Now You've Got Something to Die For. Lay to Rest is like something I would kind of do for like vocal warm-ups sometime. Or like when I was learning how to do metal vocals. I haven't done metal vocals in a while, but that's something that I like kind of learned to scream with. As the Palace Burns, As the Palaces Burn. Songs like Vigil are really, really great. Ruin's a decent tune. Blood Junkies, you know, another one. 11th Hour. Not something I listen to a ton of either. And then the last one I have from them is New American Gospel. You know, a couple of decent tunes on here, like Black Label. This is a much earlier album than where I have it. Like I said, they're out of order. But yeah, the Black Dahlia is kind of like a pretty well-known song from them. And then there's some demo stuff on the back from 1999, back when they were the old band that they used to be. Then there's a local band called Endostalgia. They're kind of like a death metal influenced System of a Down style band, so whatever you would call that. Not really sure, like kind of metal, more like butt rock than anything. I don't know. They were definitely into like hardcore death metal on top of that, so you kind of seeped into their style. It's a pretty decent enough EP. This band is now defunct. As far as I understand, they don't do anything anymore. But, you know, I do have it. I've played with them on several occasions. I've met the guys a bunch of times, things like that. And then I got a handful from Linkin Park. This is a lot of stuff that I like have from my childhood, you know, stuff that's more of a nostalgic thing as opposed to like something I'm going to listen to a lot of. Again, these are probably also out of order. Yeah, they're definitely out of order again. I'm not gonna, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. So this is the earliest one that I have, which is Hybrid Theory. You know, this is the kind of stuff I was really, really into when I was like young, back when I used to like watch Lego Star Wars videos on YouTube when I was like a little kid, and I would just like listen to Linkin Park and friggin' drink Coca-Cola and sit at my family's computer in the basement, like whenever I had free time. But yeah, this is, you know, it's Linkin Park, man. And then I have Meteora. I don't know, man. I feel like such a goof showing this kind of stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I don't know. It's decent enough, I guess. And then this is from 2010, 1,000 Suns. Being from 2010, I don't know any of these songs. Like, I don't remember any of these songs on this one. This is like after I actually cared about this stuff, and I might have played like these CDs like once. These aren't the ones that I got when I was like a little kid, because I just had like an MP3 player that I downloaded a bunch of crap onto, so who knows. Anyway, I got a handful from Pantera. I don't have any of the really awesome early albums, so Cowboys from Hell. Great record, actually. I like this band quite a bit, just generally. They kind of have like a really terrible following. Sometimes some of their following can be a bit obnoxious, but this album's great, man. It really is. I mean, like songs like Primal Concrete Sledge and Domination and Shattered and like, you know, the title track, The Art of Shredding. It's a really good record, man. It's re-listenable. It's fun. It's heavy. It's got like a thrash feel to it, but with a lot more groove to it. And then, obviously, Vulgar Display of Power, like the most iconic album maybe from them. It's one of those two, I don't know. But, you know, this is an album everybody knows. I mean, I'm sure all of you guys know this. Songs like Hollow are really good. Mouth for War, This Love, it's good stuff, man. I enjoy this band quite a bit. Not very often, but I don't really listen to it all that much these days. That's going to be the theme of these kind of tail ends of this collection area. Then Far Beyond Driven, decent enough record. It got a little bit more 90s butt rocky for me, which not so excited about that, but some of these songs still are really good. Like Shredded Skin is a great tune on here. Hard Lines and Sunken Cheeks, I really like the cover of Planet Caravan they do on here. Sabbath's Planet Caravan. I think it fits their style very well. Then I have the Great Southern Trendkill. Decent enough record. The title track is probably the highlight. That or Suicide Notes Part 1 and 2. Floods is also a good song. It's kind of like this creepy feel to it. Really 90s sounding. This predates my existence by 2 years, so... And then the last Pantera album, I think, is Reinventing the Steel. You know, alright record, I guess. Nothing on here is super huge for me. Like, maybe like Revolution Is My Name is a pretty decent song. But, you know, it's whatever. I always thought this was G.G. Allin on the front cover. It's not G.G. Allin, but that's what I used to think when I was in high school. Alright, so then we're going to dwell into the Slipknot side of things, which is a band that I was a big fan of when I was like a little boy as well. I was like... You know, I vividly remember liking this at a very young age. So the self-titled from Slipknot, this is something that's kind of like a nostalgia trip for me. I know pretty much all of these songs for the most part. Some of these songs kind of get lost in the mix for me, unlike some of the next album is going to be. But stuff like Spit It Out is really great. Eyeless, Wait and Bleed, Sick. You know, stuff like that, they're pretty good. I never really liked the song Scissors. I always thought it was kind of gross sounding, which makes no sense, but whatever. Iowa, which is kind of like the album that I really probably could still put on and be like, this is still a pretty decent record. But, you know, stuff like Disaster Piece, man. Left Behind, Skin Ticket, the title track. It's just like angry friggin' like white trash music, which is fine because I kind of grew up in a very white trash area. But it just kind of, there's something about this band that just like is like juggalo metal, basically. It sounds like metal for people who are into ICP and Twisted and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm just being a goof. Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses. Kind of when they started getting really, really, really big. They were decently big beforehand. But stuff like this, I think, got really big, like Duality and Vermilion. And Before I Forget being in friggin' Guitar Hero 3 or whatever it was. I think that's kind of like when this band really, really took off. Because Guitar Hero, I feel like, was a big deal for my, you know, my generation of like young millennials and older Zoomers. Regardless, you know, I'm a victim of my age group. And then I have All Hope Is Gone, which is a decent enough record. There's some really good songs on here. I've always really liked Dead Memories. Sulfur is a cool tune. Psychosocial's like the hit off of here. Snuff is a decent song. Butcher's Hook is decent. You know, whatever. And later Slipknots, whatever. And then I have this. I saw them on this tour, which was a fun time, you know, 2014. So, yeah, I think I saw them in like 2015, maybe 14. I don't know. I was a teenager when I saw them, and I had a lot of fun at the show. But I don't listen to this, so I don't remember too much about it, other than like the big single off of it, and maybe like Kill Pop, which is an awful name for a song. I don't know. Then this, which is Archangel by Soulfly. This is a really good record, actually. If you guys haven't listened to like Soulfly because you think of their like new metal post-roots Sepultura style, this is like a death thrash album. This is not like a, you know, a new metal dork fest. This is like a really good death thrash record. I don't know, man. I can't really say much past that. It kind of sounds like a Cavalier Conspiracy album, which is like much more respectable for me than the Sepultura has been. And yeah, I would definitely recommend you check this out if you want like not as interesting songwriting as Sepultura, but like maybe what you think Sepultura might sound like if they continued with the proper lineup instead of that terrible era of everything past Chaos AT, even though I know Max is on Roots. Then I got a couple from Suicide Silence. I liked this band for a while. This is their self-titled EP, which is apparently a bit of a rarity. I picked this up at like a Goodwill or like a St. Vincent de Paul or something. This is a 3rd degree pressing. This is a decent record, man. This is definitely deathcore, but it has a good amount of the brutal death metal tendencies that I kind of like in a deathcore album. I have trouble with straight up deathcore sometimes. I don't like it very much comparatively, but this is nonetheless a decent enough record. Especially, excuse me, the song About a Plane Crash. It's a really great tune. I would recommend checking this out if you can get past the fact that it is Suicide Silence. And then I have No Time to Bleed. You know, stuff like Wake Up on here is a pretty well-known song. What else? Disengage is actually a really great song. The couple tunes here in there in this era are pretty decent. Not a whole album listen for me most of the time, though I do tend to listen to full albums, but if I get really annoyed with a song, I will hit the skip button. And then, like everybody knows, The Black Crown. This is, I think, the last album with Mitch Lucker or whatever. Yeah, stuff like You Only Live Once, I feel like, are the big songs from this, is the big song off of this album. I don't know exactly, but, you know, Slaves to Substance is a decent enough song. They've got some pretty stupid heavy stuff on these albums, as much as they're like a sceeny-weeny kind of band. Decent enough. Then this is a band from Minnesota called Odds of an Afterthought and the album's called Finding the True Vine. This is a metalcore band, and I have not listened to this since I got it. I got it years ago when this came out in like 2016. 2017, I should say. They're okay. They're not terrible. They're not something I like, but they're not awful at what they do. The guys are really nice. They were touring, and they played the EP release show with my band. We didn't book it. We just like booked with the venue. We're like, hey, we're gonna do our EP release show today on this date, and then they booked with us, or they booked everything around us. Yeah, it's a metalcore band. My old band Apotheosis' show, so that's the only reason I still have it, because I don't listen to that. I really hate metalcore, for the most part. And then I got a couple from Whitechapel. This Somatic Defilement, decent record, man. This kind of earlier Whitechapel material is good and heavy. It's not obnoxious in a way that kind of sucks. It's just kind of like a decent deathcore record with some brutaler tendencies, especially with albums like this one, which is A New Era of Corruption. Pretty good record. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot to say about these because it's just not really my style these days. I like some of it because I like the stupid heavy friggin' breakdowns, which is cool, but yeah, I don't really know. Whatever. Whitechapel. And then the last of it is the zombie section. So I have White Zombie. This is like their classic album, Astro Creep 2000. Everybody knows a lot of the stuff on here, I'm sure, like Creature of the Wheel, Grease Painting, Monkey Brains, More Human Than Human. Yeah, it's another like nostalgic thing for me. I've known a lot of this stuff for a very long time. My brother was always into this band, and like I vividly remember being 8 years old, driving with my cousins at a wedding, and my cousin's like, what do you listen to? And he takes my headphone out of my ear, and I'm listening to White Zombie, and then he was just like going off about that to my uncle. I'm 8 years old sitting here listening to White Zombie, so whatever, it's not exactly impressive, but yeah. And then American Made to Strip by Rob Zombie. Kind of greasy music as usual. Dragula's on here, so is Living Dead Girl, so is Super Beast. Those are like three of the most iconic Rob Zombie songs, I would say. This is a pretty weird album. Everything about Rob Zombie is kind of weird. And then I have like Hellbilly Deluxe, which again, another Rob Zombie album. I really don't listen to this stuff. Also has Dragula on it, which I don't know what's the deal with that. What's this and then what's this, but whatever. Yeah, this is just stuff that everybody knows, man. I don't need to talk too much about it. But yeah, so that's it for my crap metal section, quote unquote. But yeah, so I got two more after this, and then I'm going to be packing up the CD collection to move. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one.